I'm Edie Lash, Executive Editor of Hub Culture, and here with Stan Stalnaker, founder of Hub Culture. How are you?
It's Edie Lash, the Executive Director of Hub Culture. Here we are at another hub. We've so many hubs.
Hub Los Angeles.
Yes, Awards Week.
Awards Week. We've got our sunglasses on because, you know.
It's sunny.
Sort of.
A little sunny. Anyway.
It has been sunny. Anyway,
here we are.
Won't dwell too much on the weather. We've been talking about the future of entertainment all week, and I've been totally fascinated with some of the conversations I've been having.
It's been amazing.
And I've seen you on the other side of the room. I'd love to hear your thoughts on some of the trends that you've been thinking about.
Well, we've had a lot of top executives from across the entertainment space in the house over the last week, from some of the major streaming platforms, from the major studios, writers, actors, directors, content creators. And I'd say there are several major themes. You know, they always say that Hollywood is changing, and for a long time we've known that technology is affecting the world of entertainment, especially. But really, there are some new things happening. So one is what I think of as the empowerment of the creator. 5G creators, the creators who just have a laptop and maybe, you know, a microphone. The world of podcasting, the world of gaming, the world of even movie making can now really just happen on your phone or your laptop. And you can make really high quality, amazing content. So I think like the next wave of these creators, you know, I talked to several people who are like game creators or game developers, and they were talking about how they're integrating motion capture and all sorts of other like haptic suit technologies into the work that they're doing. And the ability for a game to happen in episodes is like a new thing. So we used to think of gaming as you would get one drop and you would play the game, or it could be like a role-playing game where everybody builds it, like Roblox or Minecraft. Now there's this new trend about episodic games. So you wait for an episode of the game to drop, and then everyone plays it and contributes to it or builds on it, and then another episode drops. Like Fortnite, in a way, pioneered that with their episodic drops. But so I think it's really becoming the golden age of the creator. There's so many ways that a person can express themselves in the world of entertainment with the technologies that exist. So that's, you know, on one side, the way that it's going. But then on the other side, there are other changes that are happening about the way that distribution happens. So we're about to see, or we are seeing, the great rebundling. This idea that there are now too many places to
so many places
capture.
It's very difficult to figure out what you want to watch. And there's so many platforms, and you have to subscribe to all these different platforms. And I love what's happening now. You know, actually, we tried it in the UK about 10 years ago. We tried to combine all the services, and at that time, it was considered to be anti-competitive. What's extraordinary is now here we are 10 years later, and it's the time, because people understand that combining things is actually better for everybody. It's better for the producers, it's better for the platforms, it's better for the consumers.
And it's also the way that you combine, right? So, you know, with Plus Play, which we've been working with here, which is a new service from Verizon, it allows a consumer choice. So they can come in and add the bundles together to the things that they want and have that added directly to their Verizon bill. There are other ways that things are being bundled up and cross-promoted. And I think the future is going to actually be about really interesting cross-promotions, about bundles. So imagine if you could have dinner and a movie, right? And so you might have an Uber or Lyft, but also with a kind of movie package with the cinema, or Live Nation, like concert tickets, and even just the ability to like think about financial services, like connected in. And as you start to like cross bundle and cross promote these, a lot of really interesting ways are going to happen for people to change the entertainment experience. I think we're going to see this kind of granularization. That's the third point. After bundling, this granularization of entertainment services to be everywhere. And so, you know, you have not only the device, the pad, the iPad, the phone, these other things, but you also have potentially, I think very soon, you know, eyewear, augmented reality. The content will be here, and it'll be there in the hills, and it'll be all around us. It's happening before our eyes.
I know, it's
literally
extraordinary. It's extraordinary. The other thing that I think is really interesting is that, of course, it's not just Hollywood. It's never just been Hollywood. But I love the idea that some of the writer-creators that you were speaking about are working really across different geographies. We've seen that with, you know, Marvel, for example, going all the way to Pakistan with Miss Marvel. One of the writer-directors who was here this week who worked on Mr. Right, the first interactive rom-com
really
game / movie, fascinating project. and when you're discussing about the writer creators and the role there, I thought that was fantastic, really interesting. But she's also working, her next project is actually about it's a film for Paramount Plus that it's a young woman who goes to Seoul as an American woman to be the choreographer for K-pop. And actually she's working with a Korean producer and they're working across borders. She's done some research here, but a lot of it is a real collaboration from Korea to Hollywood, which I love. And that's the kind of thing that I think really excites me. And it makes the world a smaller, more accessible place, which I think is super important.
Well, and it also mirrors the distribution side again, because once something's online, a lot of times it's immediately available everywhere anyway. So this whole idea of a global village of consumer entertainment, I think, is right around the corner for us. The other thing that I think is really interesting is Web3. So, we had a number of people in from companies like Hedera and others in the Web3 space, and they were talking about the way that we're starting to decentralize content. So look at ownership of NFTs and the ability to have video-based NFTs on chain, and to be able to own your content in a way that you would almost own art, and to have that be essentially transferable but non-fungible.
Right.
The ability to look at financing. I mean, this has been a very interesting week.
It's been a roller coaster of a week in terms of the financial news.
Yeah, exactly. So, you're seeing a lot of let's say volatility is a nice way of putting it in the economy right now. And I also think that there's actually a symptom of some of the things that have been happening in crypto. We've seen a year of bank runs in the crypto space, and you do wonder if there isn't some kind of psychological conditioning that's happening to the culture about these sorts of things, and that's actually maybe somewhat of a concern. But I do find that in a weird way, it is sort of our theme this week has been all together now.
Right.
Everything is all together now.
Yeah.
The content, the people, the distribution platforms,
Everything,
the creators.
everywhere, all at once.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Very good. Since we started off the week, and that was the only film that you and I could remember, it's perhaps
Well,
a
it's
good
kind
way.
of the only one that I saw. It was an amazing movie, though.
It was an amazing movie. I have seen a couple others. Fabelmans, I'd highly recommend. All Quiet on the Western Front, also a top.
Yeah, I really want to see that, although I feel like it's probably hits a little bit close to home.
It's hardcore. It's hardcore. Right. Any other big things? There's one other theme that I wanted to touch on, which is the power of creation and film and television for social good. We had some gamers in this week who were creating games, games for good, games where you play with a knowledge of the environment, of endangered species. There was another filmmaker who came in who was talking about telling stories from around the world, highlighting issues around inequality, around gender, but again, with a real storytelling lens to get people drawn in, and also telling a positive story, which you and I know is a really important thing to do.
Yeah, I think one of the other things that was really fun at the house was Unity, our partner. We did a whole sound experience here at the house with them. We had several of the most amazing DJs coming in and spinning each day. Every day had a different DJ. So we had Mike Taylor and Vanessa Michaels, and we have Lee Youth playing tonight. We had Kidnap last night and Adam 12. And I thought it was really interesting, like how they're being packaged into all of this as well now. So Unity is really building a platform for audio, and I personally am becoming more and more interested in just being able to be hands-free.
Yeah.
Like, how soon is it going to be before the device completely disappears, and we really become augmented ourselves.
We are augmented humans.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the other things that is really interesting. We have some really interesting areas that we're working on with regard to this. We're about to support a new podcast that'll be announced soon. And we're also looking at a project which is really wild. It's out there, but I'm just going to tell you, it's called Codename Andromeda. And it's going to be very interesting, but using a lot of the existing technologies that exist within hub culture and kind of reimagining them in new ways. We've seen a lot of progress with our platform around AI and geolocation in the last few months, but we still have a long ways to go. These are tall hills to climb.
Absolutely. Stan, thank you as always. I've loved this week, even though the weather could have been better. I don't think the content could have been any better. It's been absolutely fantastic. And the people, as always.
Always,
Beautiful.
always a pleasure.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. See you. Where's the next hub?
Oh,
Stay tuned.
too soon.
Stay tuned. All right. This is Stan, and I'm Edie, and we're out.